There's no clear pathway going forward for Tottenham. So all this Harry Kane staying, I mean, get himself a decent agent and get the hell out of there.
I thought we've talked so much, Jules, about Harry Kane moving on, but he always seems to stay at Spurs. What's going to happen this summer?
I mean, surely him and his brother, Craig was just talking about his agent, which is his brother, can't make the mistake that they made 6 years ago now when they signed the extension that basically preventing from leaving earlier, that especially the summer where he wanted to go to Manchester City, when he agreed everything personally with City, but then City knew that Daniel Levy was not going to let go. So that long contract, and I remember the shows that we did that summer, we were saying, like, why on earth would you have signed that long-term deal at that time of your career? It was bonkers. Now with 1 year left on his contract, I mean, Spurs seems to be still confident that he can stay. I mean, again, we can't have the debate again whether he wants to be a legend at Spurs and stay all his career there, or wants to go somewhere else and win trophies, because he's not going to win anything at Spurs in the near future. Maybe the FA Cup, okay, but that's not. If you're Harry Kane, the FA Cup is no good for you, really. So if he wants to win trophies, he knows he has to leave. If he waits until the end of his contract and wait until summer 2024, then he will leave on his terms. If he wants to leave this summer, good luck whoever wants to negotiate with Daniel Levy and with Spurs, because that's not going to be easy. But again, until we hear from Harry himself saying, okay, this is what I want to do now, then we won't know. We can debate and we can wonder what he wants to do. But right now, he's still a Spurs player, and Spurs don't have to sell him this summer.
The Man United fans, did you hear what they were singing?
Oh, yeah.
See you in June, Harry. We'll
see you in June.
Effect. We'll see you in June.
Would that be the best destination for him?
Well, he's not going to City. He's not going to go to Arsenal.
Bayern Munich.
Well, I think he said himself he wants to stay in England. I mean, I suppose Chelsea are a big club with big ambitions. It's just so, you look at Chelsea, if you're Harry Kane, you go, what's the direction they're going? Is this shambles going to continue? If you give me a choice, out of two clubs that could afford me and are looking for a striker in Chelsea and Man United, I'm going to Manchester, particularly at the moment. With a good manager, they've already won the Carabao Cup, they're probably going to be in the top four. They really shot themselves in the foot in the Europa League. That was their fault. Can you imagine him with Rashford coming off one of the wider positions? Because Sancho scored today but hasn't really done it. Anthony hasn't really done it. So those two are very inconsistent. So it would allow for Rashford and Kane to, when Kane drops deep, if he was playing for Man United, just throwing it out there, when he drops that little bit deeper, that space for Marcus Rashford to go from the left-hand side with the diagonal run would be perfect. I think it's a perfect destination for him now. Do United want him? I don't know. Are they willing to pay what Tottenham want? I mean, Jules, what would Tottenham want with 15 months or not even that left in his contract? What's a realistic valuation for a guy who is around 30 years old with 1 year left? What, 80 million? I mean, he can't be the 130, 140 million player anymore, can he?
No, you're right. I think between 80 and 100, if they get lucky, if there's a bit of a bidding war between United, as you mentioned, and maybe Chelsea, I don't really believe they will go there, but if Pochettino arrives, why not? And maybe a Bayern Munich and a PSG, and then suddenly the price can go from 80 to 100. But you're right, it's only 1 year left on his contract. He's 30. We've had already question mark over his ankles and his fitness, and this season, to be fair, has been great on that level. But in the past, he's had those moments where he was injured and missing a month there, 2 months there, etc. And at that age, you're not going to give him a 1 year deal as well. Whoever signs him for £80 million or 80 million euros, he would want at least a 4 year deal at 30 years old, because he turned 30 in June. So, yeah, I would expect 80, and then that kind of contract. It's a big investment. Whoever going to try to sign him, it's a big investment. I think he's worth it because he's still an amazing player. But I think all of that has to be taken into consideration.
You're writing it off, aren't you?
What's that?
If you spend 80 million...
Oh, yeah.
I'm laughing because Frank is desperate to say something about this subject. Go on, Frank.
Now, I just want to say that if he wants to stay in England, because I think personally Bayern Munich would be a very good target to go to if I was putting myself into Kane's boots. But if he wants to stay in England, and he's, as you said, like 10 times, he's 30 years old, why he would go to Chelsea, who's not going to play the Champions League next season, who, as Craig mentioned, is a real shamble and you don't know what's going to happen. So the only destination for me, because Alan is at Manchester City, is going to be Manchester United. And I think it's a very good opportunity for Kane to go somewhere where you can win something, because that's what it is. You can be the best player and one of the best strikers in the world, and finishing your career with a blank sheet in your resume. That's not fair. That's not what football is about. Football is, of course, is about enjoying your game and being faithful maybe to a club. But at the end of the day, you're a professional player. You're there to win silverware. And Kane deserves to get lines in his resume. So he has to go. And if it's Manchester United, it's a good opportunity for them to have him and for him to express himself and get those silverware that I was talking about.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.